Hi Nivita, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Rakesh. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, this is Niveta, and I'm from Dharmapuri district of Tamil Nadu. I have completed my BE in specialized in electronics and communication engineering in Panimala Engineering College, Chennai. So I got placed in LTI Mindtree through campus, and I have been working since December 2020 till now.
Okay. So what kind of testing do you perform? Do you perform manual testing? Do you perform automation testing?
So I am performing manual testing since starting in December 2020, and now I have been a little bit more on automation testing. It's around some 5 to 6 months I have been in automation.
Okay, great. So can you tell us something about your framework?
Yeah, we are using Selenium Cucumber framework, BDD model.
Mhm.
So we are just exploring the frameworks, started exploring, and we are being just started testing now, execution.
So how will you come to know that which framework is suitable for the application? How will you take that decision?
Uh, Depending upon the requirements and the availability of tools and the resources required for the project setup. So depending on that, we'll decide the framework which we use.
So depending on the requirement. So okay, so you mean to say from project to project, the framework will vary, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Okay, great. So let's say if this question is asked to you in a real-time interview, then how you will answer is definitely that statement you will add that depends on project to project, requirement to requirement, and then you can give some examples. Let's say if it's a mobile-based application, then you will go for framework in which APM is there, right? If it's
Okay.
a framework in which you can expect business users to contribute along with the testing team, it would be the BDD Cucumber framework.
Okay.
If you have to read the data from some particular file, and if you have to keep a data driven approach, maybe some external file
Test
will
driven
be
approach.
having, yeah, then you can go for data driven approach, right? If
Okay.
your application is having the windows based desktop based kind of you know GUI, or it's a windows based application, right? Then you will go for Venium. So you will be combining Selenium, um, the automation framework, you would be including Venium, or you can also include PowerShell in that.
Okay.
So this is how you can explain in an interview, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Which framework is suitable for which kind of application. Okay. Okay, now, what is TestNG?
TestNG, it's a library, a third-party library that has been added in the Selenium uh, to manage the test scripts and for reporting also.
Okay. Okay. Um, have you used GetWindowHandle?
Yeah. Yes. GetWindowHandle is a method in Selenium which is used to get the identifier of a current window.
Okay, current window.
Each
Yes,
window has
yes.
a unique identifier.
Right. So what will be the return type of GetWindowHandle?
It's a just a identifier.
Hmm.
It's a string.
Yes, it's a
String.
string, right, right, right. Yes, Nivita. So, what is the difference between get window handle and get window handles?
See, for example, if a single browser is open, in
Mhm.
that case, we can use a method called getWindowHandle, which returns only a single identifier for a current window. If it is a multiple window, we can use getWindowHandles method, which returns a list of identifiers.
Mhm. Right. So, get window handle with this method, you will be getting a unique ID of the current window, which will identify it within the driver instance, and the return type will be string. For get window handles, you will get IDs of all the windows opened by the web driver, and its return
Yeah.
type is set. Okay, now what is the difference between list and a set?
Uh, List is a list of elements that are not that are unique. They do not contain duplicate elements. whereas set contains the duplicate elements.
Okay. Okay. Any other difference apart from this?
No, I have don't been much into that set list and all.
Yeah. So
That's it.
that's it. Okay. So can you write a simple Java program? How will you implement a list? And you can give, set declaration. So how will you declare a list in a program? How will you declare a set in a program? So if you can write a simple Java program on that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I'm giving you screen sharing rights. You just have to click on share screen green button. And
Okay.
whichever thing you are comfortable with, IDE or Eclipse or Visual Studio, whatever it is comfortable, Notepad++, just share your screen. Okay. So you have to give a simple program, sample program in which you can implement list as well as set in Java.
Okay. I will just share my screen.
Yeah. You just have to click on the share screen button and you can share your screen.
Yeah. So, can you see?
It is loading. So you are sharing some window,
Yeah, a Chrome window.
Chrome window.
Can you able
It's
to see
not
me?
visible actually. You can stop sharing it and open one Notepad++ and just share that Notepad++.
Okay.
You have joined from Wi-Fi internet, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just so, now can you able to see?
Yeah, it just shows that you have started screen sharing, but then nothing is
Okay.
getting displayed.
I'm sharing the entire screen, but
Okay, fine.
is it
You are
visible?
sharing something, Niveta?
Yeah, I'm sharing the notepad actually.
It's not visible. Okay, fine. Let's move to the next
Okay.
question. Meanwhile, let me share my screen and show you a simple program in which we can implement both.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Your video is not visible.
This one network has been struck.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's loading black screen.
Now, is it visible?
No, Rakesh, it's still a black screen.
Hmm.
No, actually, I can't see.
Okay. Okay, fine. So I think there is some network connectivity issue, but um,
Yeah,
once we will upload this video on the YouTube, then you can have a look at this. So in
yeah,
this
sure.
program, it's a main method that we have created, right? And we are declaring a list first. So list integer L equal to new array list. And similarly, we have declared set also. So set integer S equal to new hash set, right? And then we are just printing list as well as set. So that's a simple program in which you can implement both list and set. Okay, Nimita. Now moving to the next question. How is reporting done in your automation project? Nivita, can you please
Reporting.
turn on your video?
Yeah, my video is on actually.
So if you can just stop your video and then again you can start. The video is not coming.
Yeah, I'm sharing, but simply black screen.
Okay, no worries. So if you can answer in this manner only, we'll try to
Yeah.
adjust. Hmm. So yeah. So how is the reporting done in your project? Which kind of reports you are generating in your project?
We are generating HTML reports.
HTML. Okay. So can
Yeah.
you tell me what is the code that you have written or what is the approach that you have taken for generating HTML reports?
We have been added dependency for that reporting, third-party dependency in the Maven, means form file. So with that dependency, we'll be writing using we'll be creating an object for the HTML reporter. And with that object, we'll be getting the report for the particular test.
So what kind of third-party dependency you have used?
HTML reporter.
Oh, HTML reporter is the dependency that you
Yeah,
have used. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I thought you are telling about HTML reports getting generated. So HTML reports are getting generated and HTML reporter is the third-party dependency.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now let's say you have created one regression test automation script. Okay.
Okay,
And there are 10 test cases, for example, which will be getting executed.
okay.
And if your automation test is running, so after eighth test case, okay, let's say eighth test case itself got failed. Okay, then what will happen to the ninth and test case in your framework? What will happen to the ninth and tenth test case? Will it get failed or will it get skipped? What will happen?
It will get skipped
Why so?
because the previous test case has been failed. It may not have a chance to execute the upcoming test cases, so those test cases will be get skipped.
Okay. So what is the code that how will you handle this kind of scenario? Right. So it's a correct answer that after eighth test case, if it is getting failed, then ninth and tenth should be getting skipped, right? But
Yeah,
then how will you handle this code in your framework?
we can use annotations.
Annotations. So what kind of
Yeah,
annotations you will be using?
you'll be using the priority kind of annotation or um,
Priority kind of annotations.
no, priority will be executing
No,
depending upon the
priority.
number.
Yeah. So what is priority in TestNG? So when you assign some test case priority as one,
It's a priority.
and for another
It,
test case, yeah,
it is
yeah,
true. The
Nivek.
first test case which priority one will be executed first.
Yeah, perfect. So the number one will be getting executed first, then compared to number two. Now we were discussing about the situation where you have 10 test cases, eight test cases, eighth one got failed. Now ninth and tenth are getting skipped. So how will you handle this code in your framework? Where will you
Uh,
keep this code? Yeah.
we can use ignore test annotation.
Ignore test. So what it will do?
It will ignore the particular test which we have specified for the test.
Hmm.
Remaining test case will be executed.
Okay, okay, great. Um, let's say if you have to uh, take some value from the Excel file and you have to enter in the
Okay.
browser. So is it possible to automate those things?
Yeah, yeah, we can use a method or class. We can instantiate a class for the data-driven type of testings. So we can take data from those external
Okay,
like Excel files and we can use those data.
right. So it can be done using Apache POI, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, okay, great. How do you read and write in a text file in Java?
Using properties file, we can read and write.
Mhm. Okay, but properties file, so you can read from that. So when you say
Uh,
properties file, so you are referring to maybe URLs. You will be having
uh,
various environment
username,
URL,
passwords,
and you will be
test data.
reading data. Hmm. How will you write in those files?
Uh, Using output, not sure, Rakesh.
Okay, so let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. How do you write in a text file using Java? Okay, so please mention your answers in the comment section of this video. Okay, Nivita. Now, can you tell me how do you start your day? What are the different roles and responsibilities that are you are doing during the course of entire day?
Yeah, okay. We'll start with first sprint. Like we have a sprint duration of 1 week. It starts from Friday to next Thursday. So during Friday, we'll start whether the build has been released
Hmm.
initially in the first step. So after that, we'll start with smoke testing,
Hmm.
sorry, sanity testing. If it's the first time or first
Sorry,
2 3 builds, we'll
you were
start with
mentioning,
smoke.
sorry to interrupt, you were mentioning about sanity testing. Will you do sanity testing first or will you do smoke testing first?
Smoke testing.
Smoke testing, right? Okay. Yeah.
Then we'll go for mostly we are performing regression testing. So
Hmm.
we'll go for regression testing. And after regression testing, if we find any bugs, we'll be logging those bugs.
Okay.
And after logging, so we'll be executing the pass fail commands on the, we'll be marking those pass fail in Azure DevOps, which
Mhm.
we are using as a test management tool. So we'll be tracking those bugs as well, and we'll be checking for the incidents which are reported by customers as well. So if those incidents, if we are missed, and we'll be reporting the number of missed bugs which have been caught by customers.
Okay. Fine. Okay, Nivita. Um, Now consider a scenario where you are given some user story for automation. Now, how will you estimate that user story? How much time would you need to automate that particular user story?
Uh, those user story depends upon how much scenarios and test cases it contains. If it contains more number of scenarios, then we can divide those user stories, and we can assign it a story points to it. And depending upon the story points, we can start executing those.
Okay, depending on the story points. But then you will also take into the consideration what is the amount of automation that needs to be done. Maybe the user story will be having 10 acceptance criteria, but then
Yeah.
out of those 10 acceptance criteria, first you will have to identify which are feasible for automation and which are not feasible for automation. Let's say if
Okay.
60% of the acceptance criteria is feasible for automation, then you will consider only those 60%. Again, from those 60%, you will see the effort required, right?
Okay.
Maybe do you need some additional things to be incorporated in the framework, or it is just the kind of a mechanical things that you can add into your framework, right? So
Okay.
those kind of things you will help get, you'll take decisions on the basis of those things. How much time do you need for that particular user story, right?
So basically, we have to check all the possible criteria for executing all. Then, depending upon those criteria, we can have to take the priority for those tests, right?
Correct, correct. Yes, yes. Okay, Nivita, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, feedback from me, Rakesh. The
Yeah,
areas I have to improve.
yeah. So I think maybe your Selenium automation concepts were good. Maybe in Java, if you can improve, like,
Okay.
yeah, so any Java program things that you can practice, so that would be more good, right?
Okay.
Yeah, rest all looks good, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was not able to see you after half of the interview, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
care of
Sorry
such
for that.
kind of network issues during the real-time interview,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, like, how to get. I'm looking for say, next opportunity for another company. So how to move forward for that? Any tips for that? Actually?
So if you can apply into the jobs from LinkedIn. You can get some referrals from LinkedIn if someone is there to help you out. So those things, half of the work will be much easier in getting the job.
Okay.
right? You can try approaching people on LinkedIn and in your professional networks,
Okay.
right?
So I have updated my Naukri profile, but
Yeah.
the
So
frequency of getting calls is very less.
yeah, so many of the people are facing same challenges that after updating Naukri profile also still they are not getting calls. So what you can do is you can ask someone to refer you, right?
Okay.
Maybe that can help.
Okay, Rakesh.
Okay, Niveta, thank you so much for joining today and wish you all the best for your career.
Yeah, thank you, Rakesh. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
Happy to see you.
Same to you.